think como que para ser presentadora, para ser comunicadora, like you have to like train yourself, right? And either sometimes like acting classes help you, or like voiceover or voice acting te ayuda también como para comunicar mejor, con expresión, con emoción y todo eso.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm meeting up with a coach, and
nice.
actually start this Thursday. Yeah.
That's good. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how that goes. Like, just working on your voice, like.
Yeah, like, como que, porque es diferente, bueno, esto me estaba explicando yo, I'm not an expert yet, but si quieres hacer como voz para documental es diferente a que si estás leyendo un cuento, a que si estás en una comercial de radio, a que si estás, you know, like, narrating like a Honda manual, you know?
Or if you're doing like them, like my favorite thing is like watching the commercials from back then and now, like new medicine.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was like, because you know how it's fucking funny back then, the commercials like I don't know, I'm gonna make up a medicine because we're not sponsored, but like Zinfandel, right?
Sí.
And then you're like,
I think that's a wine, but whatever.
Como cicatricure o...
yeah, whatever. Pero luego the side effects, whatever the side effects.
At the end.
They tell you all the side effects.
Yes.
Oh,
But they're fast, and now they have to go. Have you noticed that they made them change it to slow?
Yeah.
And then they put the general warning, surgeon
But
general warning.
have you seen how they do it?
No.
They
I
do
don't pay
it.
attention.
The side effects are like they make you feel like you're fucking like, oh.
And then they put like a little montage in the background.
Yeah,
and happy people.
You might get chorro. You might get
Other, like,
But the songs and the way they talk, chorro's not that bad. I guess headaches, that's not that bad. And if it's the way they, you know, what I'm saying,
if you experience extreme conditions, please go to your doctor.
Oh, yeah. Igualito.
so
yeah.
it's like fuck that. Like I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. How you got to change your voice
para
whatever.
todo, like you have to switch it. So I want to train my voice in that, because I don't want to, like when I'm reporting, I need to sound a little different than when I'm reading the news on the weekends. No, entonces, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, para todo, like I don't think there's ever like I made it, or ya, sabes, it's como que you have to continue developing your, you know, your talent or whatever.
Always,
yeah, you got to keep learning.
Okay.
So,
but the field and in the newsroom, like changing the voice. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, because you have to be expressive on camera.
Yeah.
Right. You also like have to.
yeah. Or like at the time when I first started, I mean, I've only been at this for like 7 years, no? But when I first started, it was in Yuma, Arizona, and I remember like. Se me hacía muy complicado porque I was reading like a murder, no, or like a fire, y de repente some producers were like really like bad, and they would like put like this like happy community event like right next to the fire, or this like esta mujer fue decapitada y en esta comunidad los niños están bien felices, right? So it's just like you have to know how to transition, right?
Like
So
from like something like serio to like, oh, hey.
Yeah. Y en otra información, esto fue lo que pasó en el evento de la comunidad con los niños y bla, 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 right?
Why do they do that? I've always wondered.
I know, like
because
why do they transition so tough?
Yeah, what is just like a fucked up story to like a nice story to like a.
It's a producer thing, but like many times, like como lo que tienen en su cabeza es como un tipo de like les vamos a dar algo fuerte, y si les das algo fuerte enseguida, like they're gonna tune away, right? They're gonna switch the channel. So we gotta like mix in, pero you have to have like a little tactic, you know, some tact with that, porque también no puedes poner como el cumpleaños de un niño de 3 años al lado de un
Decapitaron a 20 personas.
Exacto.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like hay productores que obviamente tienen como en el A block, como la primera parte del show, they'll have like, you know, todo lo más fuerte, y luego como clima, y después del clima ya es como que transiciona un poquito a algo más
Gotcha.
light.
Okay.
it's like positive reinforcement. You know, when you criticize someone and then you come at it with a positive comment,
You ain't shit.
but you're doing a great job not doing shit.
But las noticias in Mexico, it's so different. Like we were talking about it, ¿no?
It's
Súper
so
amarillista.
bold, huh?
Yeah, yo me acuerdo cuando recién fui a México, a Michoacán, that was like the hardest shock. Like pasabas por cada alto, cada semáforo, y estaba una persona con el periódico enseñándote como 3 decapitados y la cabeza ahí, tú así como de, what?
Yeah. Hell no.
Yeah.
They're cleaning the windows with that shit. And
Yes,
With what?
exactly.
With the newspaper?
You're in
You're in the restaurant eating, you're just seeing like the front
The
page.
little morrito afuera, like by the fucking paper you're eating.
Yes.
Like, that's why
That's,
my dad's crazy. He brings fucking newspapers from Michoacan. Yeah, mijo. I'm like, Dad, I want to see this shit. Like,
You don't need to bring it. Just go on your WhatsApp. Like my cousin sent me everything. They still live over there, so they send everything that's going on.
nah, to them it's normal though, huh?
Yeah.
it's super normal.
It's like watching.
sad.
They're filming a movie. They're watching it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Everybody stands outside just watching. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like they're desensitized to it.
Super desensitized. I think it's so sad because it's something that we've become accustomed to, no? Like, I remember, like, coming back from Mexico, it's been 9 years now. I don't know why, like, until hasta hace como meses, I was like, yeah, I've been back for 5 years. It's been 9 years now.
Yeah.
And, but at first I had some PTSD, como, and I didn't even know what, like, PTSD or, like, anxiety or depression was. Like, como que siento que en México, they're just like, ay, ¿eso qué? Right?
Yeah.
Pero bueno, when I first came back, I was so, like, everything gave me so much anxiety and panic, como que estaba volteando a todos lados. And everything's just so chill in the U.S., and I'm so thankful for that. Porque en México sí tienes que tener muchísimo cuidado. Like
a heightened sense of alert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And, o que se te va a meter alguien a la casa, o que te están siguiendo con una pistola y te van a asaltar, right? Like, y el narco también. Like, nowadays, it's not, I feel like it used to be very, like, you would know when it was a narco because they had, like, como el sombrero y la camisa de gallina y todo eso.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, some of them do, pero ahora es como el fresita que va al Tec de Monterrey and, like, he's your buddy and then you never know and you're at a party with him and then de repente van a llegar y, you know, a shooting starts or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Y aparte como que it's so normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so normal. So, I mean, I love Mexico with all my heart, pero siento como que ya no regresaría. Unless I'm, like, out there reporting.
Gotcha.
But
¿No
like,
te da miedo ser reportera allá?
I'm very into that. Like, I'm very into, like, the adrenaline of, like, I feel like that's real, like, reporting, como que lo que está pasando. De hecho, como que that's, like, one of my goals. Like, quiero estar como cubriendo las caravanas que vienen y seguirlas de Guatemala, México, you know, me encantaría como reportear de narcotráfico, aunque sé que es súper peligroso, pero pues entiendo como el contexto de que tienes que cubrir como a todos los lados, ¿no? It's like, even like politics, like, como les tienes que dar un lado a los republicanos, a los demócratas y a los independientes, también acá es como que a la nueva generación, a la familia Michoacán, y a todos les tienes que dar un lado. And, like, it's not like they have a spokesperson, but if you start, like, getting into it, I feel like, you know, you can give them all, like, a voice.
Well, on the last podcast, we talked about getting them HR, so maybe a spokesperson.
That's what I was about to say. That I was like,
you know what I'm saying?
Media relations, they have HR and media relations.
Say, if you guys are listening and you're in the narco community, fuck it, you know, maybe have a media relations so that
Like, reach out to Carmen. No.
I suggest becoming a corporation, you know, just in case you get sued.
Who says that?
I bet they have someone.
Nah,
es que están súper organizados.
That money is somewhere. It's in corporations, in real corporations.
Well, I've told you where they're at already. They're in the tourist hotels and all that stuff.
Guaranteed.
That's where.
Yeah.
Sí.
That's where all the money
Sí,
is.
o sea, son como las franquicias que de Starbucks or,
Exactly.
you know, I'm not gonna, you know, pero ahí está como todo el lavado de dinero, ¿no? Y son cosas con las que cuando creces en Michoacán como yo, te das cuenta y lo ves con tanta claridad, ¿no? Como que creces sabiendo como que, los de esta franquicia son los de la familia michoacana y los de Cinépolis, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, I'm talking too much.
She brought us Cinépolis. I was like,
Cinépolis.
the first time I ever went to a Cinépolis was in...
You know they have them here, right?
Yeah, I know they have them here now. They brought them over here. Pero la primera vez que yo supe de eso, cuando estaba en Juárez.
Yeah.
Cuando cruzamos a Juárez, Have you been to Juárez?
Yeah.
Okay. You been to Juárez?
No, never.
Fool. One of the scariest crosses ever. And we did it walking because we got there by bus. Llegamos al Paso. Luego cruzamos para Juárez. Y cuando entras a Juárez, es como Tijuana, pues, you know, cuando está ahí donde está el arco. And it's club scenes, like a lot of bars and all that shit, right? Pero llegamos en la mañana, ¿cuándo fue? En 2010, entre julio, like, it was like right before 4th of July. Andaba la ley seca.
Yeah.
So andaba las streets empty. Scary, fool.
Yeah.
Scary, fool. You would have thought, like, dead silence, nobody on the street. El taxista nos llegó.
Like curfew?
Sí, güey, porque era ley seca, so nadie estaba pisteando. And I don't know if they drink at 10 in the morning, but yo me acuerdo el taxista nos recogió y luego yo había got a hotel next to el consulado. And this was like, ¿te quieres yo te llevo un hotel donde te va a cobrar más barato? My instincts were like, hell nah, this was already called his homies. That's the way. Me preguntó, ¿de dónde eres? Del Paso. And he started asking questions. Oh, ¿de qué área?
That's where you messed up, though.
Why?
Saying you're from El Paso. That's a border town right there. That's like their border town. You're already kind of...
But I wanted him to know that I'm local.
Yeah.
Like, if I told him I'm from California, that was going to be like,
Sí,
You know,
sí.
this fool
Yeah.
no tiene nadie en la casa.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, so, ¿no te da miedo eso entonces?
Es que creo que como viví, como que sé que sí me da miedo, obviamente, pero
Sí.
como que me podría defender porque conozco, ¿no? Como que ya que conoces cómo funciona todo, precisamente eso que dijiste, ¿no? Como si vas a estar nuevo en una ciudad, no vas a decir que vienes de fuera, no vas a traer ciertos accesorios, no te vas a portar de cierta manera, right? Like, como que sabes ya más o menos cómo cuidarte, y creo que es algo que aprendí creciendo en Michoacán, ¿no? Como que you know who you got to watch out for, you know, like what kind of information you want to display y cuál no, right? Like, you got to be super witty with it.
Cool.
Y siento que por eso me encantaría eventualmente, yeah, you know?
I'm out. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me ha tocado, cuando recién empecé, que estaba en Yuma, Arizona, como conductora y productora, de repente me tocaba salir a reportear, y una de las primeras cosas que hice, and it was like I didn't tell my family, but I went reporting on sex trafficking in Tijuana. So me acuerdo que fui con un camarógrafo y me contacté con un albergue, y para esto como que un albergue, un refugio para niñas y jovencitas que la estaban rescatando, y todo esto lo hacen obviamente como súper privado. Entonces no me dieron la dirección del shelter hasta que estaba como a 30 minutos de Tijuana, right? So it was very like undercover, because you gotta be careful, porque, o sea, todo el crimen organizado está siguiendo a estas organizaciones.
Sí.
And no sé, son cuestiones que me llaman muchísimo la atención, porque hay mucha como injusticia, obviamente, como que detrás del crimen organizado, de gente vulnerable que están explotando. Entonces me acuerdo llegar y darte cuenta como que son temas que muchos periodistas como que los esquivan porque te estás exponiendo, pero la verdad es que vale la pena darle luz a toda esta gente que está sufriendo tanto, right? Darle una voz. So like you go in there and I remember like niñas de 3 años, de 5 años que en Tijuana las están abusando. It's terrible. Y me contaba, you know, I can't really say her name, pero era la que dirige el refugio that, you know, people from California, people from different parts of the States, they cross and they're like, where's the fresh meat?
Yeah.
And that's how they look for like all these girls. And like fresh meat also means babies.
Yeah.
Like babies. Como de repente tú vas, ¿cuál es la calle? ¿La Coahuila? ¿En Tijuana? Creo que sí. Es una calle donde hay como, donde está el King Kong or Hong Kong or whatever.
I don't know.
Revolution is the main street,
Revolution
right?
is the main street.
Yeah, pero bueno, la calle donde hay la prostitución y todo
con gales y todo eso.
Yeah.
Sí.
So I remember like me llevó ahí y fuimos como eran como las 2 de la mañana or something. Entonces como que mi camarógrafo was like, obviously we were undercover, so we had to pretend like we were interested in, like, right? So, and as he was recording from like under a window, y veías, o sea, como que a mí me llamó la atención como que ver you know, algunas prostitutas o sexoservidoras que traían sus carriolas, and I was like, oh my gosh, pobrecitas, tienen que estar como cuidando a su familia. And like this lady was like, no, it's actually like,
those are part of,
you know,
that's like one of the girls.
Yeah.
Or one of the,
yeah, como bebés.
Sí.
Right? And like, you're like, oh, this is so disgusting. And you sometimes, o sea, como que son las cosas que digo yo, vale la pena arriesgarte porque es parte del periodismo, es parte como del contar las historias de la comunidad en la que estamos, ¿no? So that's why I'm into it.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you, because you sound passionate about that. Is it more the adrenaline, or is it the fact that you want to shed light on these? Like, you actually want to expose these things out there and show the people?
I want to expose them. Yeah. And it gives you adrenaline, you know? With it comes adrenaline. It comes like, oh my gosh, like... Pero no también como que... Sí hay adrenalina, también hay como mucho miedo, porque pues, no manches, en cualquier momento, si se hubieran dado cuenta que somos periodistas, y si hay algún grupo de crimen, like, they kill you. Te secuestran, te llevan, right?
Yeah.
Pero, ¿qué tal a todas esas niñas that you're like, and it kind of like, it makes me emotional, porque it's like these kids that they were rescued, and they were like, they're 5 years old, they have this beautiful future, and they were rescued. Si no hubiera sido por esas organizaciones. So like, let's like promote this org or like this type of work para que siga continuando, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's sad because there isn't a lot of organizations that do that.
Yeah.
No, well, this is the thing, that the organizations don't fight the same way that the bad organizations are doing.
That's
so
true.
think about that. If you can't fight the same way, how can you combat that really? You know, it's like las organizaciones que bueno, when I say organizaciones is los narcos or los bad guys.
They use violence.
They're gonna have the upper hand because they're always gonna have fear, violence, and weapons and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So
y son ya como comunidades en México, o sea, pueblos pequeños que están ya como tan conectados con las organizaciones criminales que ya son pueblos que están como vacíos de niñas chiquitas, porque como que there's this town, se me va el nombre, pero en México que es conocido porque entregan a sus niñas al crimen organizado y no tal cual como que te entrego niña para que la vayas a abusar, sino como que llegan estos hombres and they're like, you know, yo tengo dinero, vivo en Estados Unidos. And they're like, they literally go to do that specifically. Y se llevan a las niñas. Y me voy a casar con ella. Es una niña de 10 años, una niña de 8 años, de 13 años. Y se las traen acá a Tijuana. O se las llevan a Ciudad Juárez, al Paso.
Y la familia las da con tal de que ellas tengan un buen futuro.
Un buen futuro y aparte les dan dinero.
Not just that. A lot of these families can't support their kids.
Sí.
So they rather give them,
y les daban el cerebro diciéndoles como de, yo le puedo dar educación, yo la voy a llevar a vivir a Estados Unidos. And it's just like, it's devastating if you think about it, you know?
No, I feel you. I was watching a documentary the other day. Well, not a documentary. It's Vice. I watch a lot. If I do watch news, on Vice.
Yeah.
And in the Philippines, I miré que también hacían lo mismo. Y, I mean, I'm sure they do it everywhere. Pero ellos estaban reportando in the Philippines. And what the crazy thing is they're doing it through Facebook. So there's a lot of Americans. The thing that gets me is that we as a country, we're one of the powerful countries or nations in the world, right?
Yeah.
Pero a la misma vez hay un chingo de desmadre aquí. Un chingo de desmadre that nobody really wants to talk about. Everybody looks the other way. Why?
Yeah.
Because of the economy, because of the money, because of everything, right? American people are the ones going overseas, not just the Philippines, to Mexico, to other countries.
They're funding these things. They're paying for the people.
Porque quieren... En esto que estaba mirando, era que estaban adoptando a niños.
Yeah.
Es ilegal adoptar a un niño unless you go through the paperwork and agency. Pero lo que estaban haciendo en Facebook, there's like groups donde las mamás o los filipinos se meten and they put up their kids, like, hey, tengo esta niña así, 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 y parejas dicen, no, ¿cuánto me va a costar? Like, discreetly, pues no hablan directo de eso, sino ya tienen ellos su manera de hablar. And va alguien, agarra a las niñas y se las lleva. But the reality is, no todas van a adopción.
Yeah, no.
Todas there's some that end up in a sex
because they don't know who they're talking to. They think it's this fake
Exactly.
person.
Y la persona dice, no, pues yo se lo estoy dando con intento de que mi hijo o mi hija, you know, has a better life. And they end up going to the...
It's just a sad situation that economically they have to do that. You know what I mean? Because they can't support their kids. And
imagina, y si esta organización con la que he hablado que está en Tijuana, van a estos pueblos y hablan con las personas de las comunidades, right? They try to provide, you know, support for them. Obviamente nunca es suficiente porque son familias que están batallando muchísimo, que viven en casas de cartón y todo esto.
Sí.
Pero tratan de decirles como de, esta es la situación, pero como está, es como un tipo de dictadura ya, right? O sea, si ven a alguien de esta organización hablando con los padres de familia, you know they're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like a system that's created for that already in that town. También cuando te das cuenta del tipo de abuso que pasan las niñas, o sea, en una noche they have to, you know, have sex like more than 40 times.
Yeah.
Una niña de 5 años.
Yeah.
Y entonces tienen un lapso de vida de como 2 años. ¿No? Porque aparte las tienen drogadas. Entonces cuando las rescatan, las tienen que...
Get them off the drugs.
Sí, get them off the drugs. Obviamente darles como ayuda psicológica, cierto tipo de alimentación. Like, it's this whole process to get to some recovery.
Yeah, and do you know what the percentages of actual girls that get saved after? Like, as far as... Because once they drug them, a lot of them fall victims to the addiction. And they drug them with drugs that...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, te hacen adictos.
Yeah.
So a lot of these girls, when they reach a certain age, I'm assuming, they're like, I don't care. Because me están dando mi chiva, y me están dando mi dinero, and now I do what I want.
I don't even think it's that, dude. I think they're not even conscious. They're not even thinking about it. It's just already an addiction. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not even thinking, oh, I'm getting this. They don't even think that.
But that's what it is. You're getting that what you're addicted to. So they don't even want to be saved. You know what I'm saying?
And so many times, like, because they're so young, they don't know any other life. So they think that, like,
That's the life.
that's a life.
Gotcha.
Like, I am going to get abused. I'm going to be high all my life. Y no tienen como esperanza de vida.
Simón.
Y eso es lo peor. Como son niños que empezaron en el human trafficking at 4. Like,
Y
they don't know any other way.
No tienen otro mundo.
Yeah.
Well, they had no childhood.
Yes.
Think
So-
about that. Think about, like, you're the kids, like your kids, like no childhood. Like,
And,
that's,
oh my God, como, de verdad, como que son de los temas que me duelen mucho, porque como que tú vas a estos centros and like, you have the little kids that are like 4 years old, 8 years old, y las veces que las están enseñando a jugar, las están enseñando a estar como felices, a tener momentos contentos, and it just like breaks you because you're like, damn, I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
And of course, like, si quiero como, if I want to like continue como más adelante y hacer periodismo, I want to like continue giving a light to these issues that are so real, that are so like prominent, especialmente que estamos aquí en Los Ángeles y que estamos hablando cerca de una frontera, y para nosotros que somos comunidades que somos, Latinos or Mexican Americans or, como que we know the issue. We ignore it so many times because it's so hard to hear, like, there's a 4-year-old getting abused 90 times a night, right?
Or
y son cosas, les damos hasta la espalda because we're like,
sí.
Oh, like, what can we do?
Or,
Like, ¿qué
or
vamos a
it's
hacer?
not happening here. Aquí no está pasando.
Yeah.
remember I said when COVID came around, it showed how selfish we are as people. Why? Because as long as it wasn't affecting us, we didn't care. And it's the same situation. You carry it over. As long as it doesn't affect you directly, a lot of people don't care.
Gotcha.
Like, as long as it's not my kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question, but before we get to the question, let's introduce our guest, bro. Because
We
this
went
is
off
the second
again.
time we have this. No, it's not on purpose, guys. It's just that we get so into the conversation, and it's just dope. We don't want to mess it up, but Sisko, introduce our guest, bro.
All right. You guys know you're on the Sisko and Mike podcast. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Today we have a special guest. Actually, we have some breaking news. We have some breaking news. I got the earpiece. Now, you may see her on TV. She's out in the field. She's behind the desk, always in front of the camera. She's giving you the 411 and everything in Los Angeles. We got Carmen Marquez in the house.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, guys.
That was supposed to be the intro in the beginning before I screwed it up.
I know, but don't worry. We're gonna add it. We're gonna add it later. We're gonna switch it this time because I did get asked, "Am I in the right? This is part 2?" I was like, "No, just listen to it. The intro will come."
It's just natural conversation. I didn't want to enter after like little mishap. We just started conversating. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you. I want to say thank you for coming. I know it's Sunday. It's rainy. You probably wish you were just at home.
No.
Coffee.
I'm super honored and like grateful to be here for sure.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for what you're saying right now. I think what you want to do, exposing all these and bringing things to life, I think is very important, especially now.
Yeah.
It's not mainstream, and a lot of things need to change in Mexico specifically. We come from towns where Narco is a huge thing that even the kids now are growing up, desensitized, idolizing these people.
Yep.
And instead of wanting to have a career or anything, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to be narcos. They want to be.
That's a career choice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that either in Mexico you're probably thinking politics, police, or narco.
You ain't thinking any of those. You're thinking narco. That's
Well,
it.
I know, but I'm
Kids
saying
even dress like sicarios for Halloween.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like,
or their birthday parties.
especially
Ahí
the small
estamos.
towns. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Like in Apatingan, I don't think there's much, So that's like everybody. I had cousins that would come here and tell me like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this." Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, no. Like,
And if you want to have, es bien curioso como Apatzingán, Nueva Italia, Lombardía, like Tierra Caliente, right? This region, and we're talking about this region in Michoacan. If you don't want to follow that path, it's kind of like you really want to become a dentist, you really want to become a lawyer, a dietitian. Como you're not gonna make money off of that, bro. Like, you better get into a cartel already.
Yeah.
Like that's the way. Así lo están viendo. Así está la cultura en muchas regiones de México. Y a solo que tengas, you know how in Mexico they have like so many like social classes. Unless you're like como clase media alta, then you have a way porque hay palancas, porque tienes manera de que alguien te pague la universidad. Otherwise, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up in Mexico, I didn't have many options. Like I did not have options. Like no teníamos alguien que nos apadrinara, una palanca. It's like public education in Mexico. And like, it's like el narco te trae como un shiny object in front. It's like, if you, y aparte hay un buen de puestos en el narco, ¿no? Como que puede ser como el informante, puede ser no solamente el que trafica, no solamente el que está cuidando con armas, like, and they make it so attractive, and it's part of the culture, and we should really work on fixing that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video of when they captured Chapo's son?
No,
With the
new one?
no, the kids in the trucks. You know how, like,
I didn't
you know
see
how
that
like
video.
Sinaloa just started raising up and started going against the federales and everything. There was kids, teenagers, they're like 12 years old with their guns in the car, like just like
Yeah.
waiting to see what was gonna happen
That's crazy. I haven't seen the new video. I know the first time he got caught and they let him go, but
because of that, because of the violence that occurred
yeah.
after.
But then
it's,
I didn't know that the second time that he got caught.
yeah,
I didn't know there was
same thing. There was violence all over as well, but I mean,
crazy.
I think it died out now. But
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. We talked a lot about the things that you're passionate about as far as reporting. Things that I think all of us, it touches with all of us. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with the emotions, with like this, not just that, because that what you described was like, I don't think as a human being I could walk into something like that and like hold myself. Like I think I would be like choked up, angry.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure those are the same emotions you feel, but how do you go home at the end of the night and say, okay, I was doing my job? How do you separate you versus that?
Yeah. You know, that's a difficult thing to do. Y sobre todo como at first when, como, creo que la primera, you know, we're always like reading news, ¿no? Pero creo que estaba como acostumbrada, like in Mexico, to have like a bunch of amarillismo. So we get, what is the word? Like desensitized or? Desensitized. Pero una cosa es como verlo en el periódico y otra cosa es como estar enfrente de ello. Me tocó cuando estaba trabajando en la radio en Phoenix, en Radio Campesina. Shout out to Radio Campesina, by the way. Y me mandaron a cubrir los family separations in Texas when that was going on, like the kids in cages. And I remember like a los medios de comunicación, they give us like a tour inside of the immigration facilities. Y me acuerdo que fue la primera vez that I was like, oh shit, I'm going through some deep depression. Like on my flight back to Arizona, I was like, it just like it changes you. Every story, it changes you. And sometimes I just isolate for a bit, to just being honest here. Like some people cope with it in different ways. For me, it's just like I need some space away because it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And then you look into ways like how can I help? No, como can I help? A veces not, you know, it's not only like resharing or reposting. It's like if you find another journalist, like let me give you a contact para que también vayas a cubrir este tema que es bien importante. You know, if you find a family member, then you like bring up the conversation. Like the thing is como no dejar la historia en los 2 minutos de televisión y no dejarla en un artículo, ¿no? Como do something about it. Yeah. But to cope, I sometimes isolate a bit, a couple days, a weekend. And then I process everything because it's tough. Like no me puedo, o sea, no podemos normalizar estas cosas como situaciones como ver a niños que estaban como tirados en un papel de aluminio en unas jaulas. Like how do you recover from that, right?
Yeah.
And
that's here.
Yeah.
And that's
here
in
the United States,
yes.
You know, and that's what you would think like it'd be different. Like you talked about Mexico, but now we're talking about United States, a country again, first one of the top nations in the world, and here's how we're treating kids.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
till this day.
Exactly.
Till this day, it's still going.
So it's like
yeah,
I feel you.
That's tough. Yeah, I give you kudos on that because I would personally I couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about it, I get angry or like emotional. Like I don't know. Like,
sí, como.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he is like what gets me mad is I love this country, right? I served 8 years in the Corps, and I'll say that again. That gets me mad because it's like, wait a minute, I fucking gave 8 years of my life to the country, but this is how my people are getting treated. That's what gets me mad. Again, I love the United States. You know, have we done some shit that I don't agree, but that needed to be done? Yeah, but shit like that, it's like we talked about it in our other podcast. The veteranos that get deported, veterans that get deported, and they serve their time.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's people that don't even want to volunteer.
They
and
give their lives and limbs.
Exactly. And then now they're getting deported. And then our kids are getting deported. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. That gets me mad.
That gets you.
That gets me mad.
Yeah. How do you cope with that?
It's just like you said. You just have to, like, me as a person, I try to think, what can I do?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's nothing I can't do individually, because I can go up and rant about it. I could go and say something. But at the end of the day, who the fuck am I just who's going to listen to me? Mm-hmm. And if we don't do something collaboratively,
yeah,
then nothing's going to happen. But the way I cope with it is just knowing that I gave my part to the country because I wanted to. And it's like, at the end of the day, the people that are making the decisions, we're putting power by other people that don't think like me. So it's like, I can't do nothing unless we work together. Yeah. That's the way I deal with it.
I mean, now I think you have this.
Yeah.
I think now, you know, and he tells me sometimes, you get too political, you get too crazy. It's just, things need to be said sometimes, and we just need to vent. I think this is, like, I told him now, this is like my therapy sessions now. Like, I get to voice my opinion and just kind of listen to people and get heard at the same time. Yeah. And I think that's a good way for you, because I've told you how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Which, like, brings me back to, like, the impact that como que we've forgotten about the importance of conversation. No?
Yeah.
We have the immediate, like, cancel culture right now. We're like, because we get, like, a snippet of 15 seconds from someone, and we're like, oh, this person believes this, and then, ¿sabes? What's the context? Right?
Yeah.
And many times we have issues that que nos apasionan, right? So, like, let's bring that into a conversation con una persona, right? Sometimes nos saltamos a como que this is what I think, and now we're not talking because this is how I feel about this topic. No, like, let's dive into, like, why do you feel like this? What's your life context too? And because we're so different. Even if we're like Mexican American here, we're so different. We come from different lives, no?
Yeah.
Entonces, maybe if we listen to each other, we would be open to changing our minds.
Yeah.
To change, right?
Yeah. Or it's just defense mechanisms now. I think that it's just defensive. Yeah. Like, if somebody doesn't agree, we had the conversation last time with Richard. It was like, if you tell someone your life experience, they can't really judge it or give their opinion on it. But if you say, this is my opinion, boom, that's it. You opened up the floodgates to get challenged and criticized and being told
fuck
everything.
Your opinion, dog. Yeah. This is my opinion.
Yeah, but if you tell, this is my life. Yeah. This is what I went through.
Nobody can tell you what your life is.
They can't tell you. Yeah. They can't tell you, you know? So, like, it's just sad that it's become that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what, también? I think what Carmen said, that we need to communicate. We had a family event at my mom's house, okay? We were gathered. And I was thinking about cuántos nietos tiene mi mamá. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, it was dope seeing all of our kids. And it's like, damn, this is dope. Like, there's 11 kids all together. They weren't all together yesterday, but there's 11 nietos que tiene mi mamá. And it's like, holy shit, I remember when I was a kid, ¿qué hacíamos cuando nos juntábamos? No, que a las traes, no, que a las escondidas, al sol y el hielo, ¿cómo se llamaba? La gallinita ciega, you know, things that we grew up on, right? And I'm looking at all the kids, right? We had just finished eating, and I'm chilling, and there's about 7 or 8 of them in the living room. And they're on their phones. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, kids, get off your phones. Oh, we're gonna be bored. I'm like, play a game or something. Like,
they were playing the game online with themselves.
That's the communication that they were having. You know, it's like, no, deme esa madre.
Sí.
Play zapatito blanco, zapatito azul, and you know, we were talking about that. Me and my brothers were talking about that. We're like, dude, remember when we used to do this? And look at these guys. They're like, so I took them to the mall. But anyways, you're right. It's all about communicating. I took them to the mall to get them distracted.
Oh, it was raining. I was gonna say, take them outside.
It was raining. But you're right. It's about communication. I think it starts at the lowest level, bro. Because nowadays, our kids are not even communicating amongst themselves. Like, to a certain extent. Dude, that fucking phone is powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I get my phones, but like even tablets. What do you do to your little kid? Toma, güey. No le dices, güey, pero toma. Sí. Y que está el niño mirando cartoons. Y ya no quiere. That tablet is his homie.
You know what's funny? I was getting a haircut yesterday. Mm-hmm. And my barber, like, a little kid showed up, and he was getting a haircut. He's like, that little kid usually cries. And then I asked him, like, hey, you still get kids, like, they cry a lot? Because I don't see it no more, right?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, bro. He's like, as long as they have a tablet, they're good.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, they don't cry. You know, little kids cry when they get a haircut. No, as long as they have a tablet. He's like, I haven't seen a kid cry when he has a tablet. If he doesn't, he's...
What is this going to do to us in the future, man? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, somebody told me, you told me, no? You told me, was it you that told me that about Wall-E?
What? The Disney Pixar conspiracy theory?
But that's who we are in the future. Because I don't know if you've seen Wall-E. I have only seen parts of it, but there's a part where they're like all in a spaceship and they're all just chilling, watching a TV.
Overweight?
Yeah, and they're not communicating. And that's like, and then all of a sudden the spaceship starts messing up or something, and it forces them to have a communication, you know? And it's like, that's where the future's heading. Like, really no communication.
Yeah.
Who knows? The thing is that,
like, I feel like Gen Zers, though, como que they're switching things up, no? A little bit. Like, I've seen them, like, come up with flip phones, like, bringing them back.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I've even thought about, like, getting a flip phone and, like, using social media, like, no sé, 1 hour, 2 hours in the morning. Como que darme como espacios. Because, oh my gosh, hoy me dio el average de cuánto tiempo uso al día. You guys want to know how much I use, like, my phone a day?
How much?
It's like 8 hours, 28 minutes a day.
Damn.
What? That's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
but I mean, but a lot of your work comes from your phone as well, right? You're
Yeah.
giving updates and you're doing things. So
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
So that's understandable.
I think that's the thing. I think that this helps us in our everyday life. GPS, email, maybe limiting stuff like that. You're not just keeping it simple. Go throw an internet or something. But
Well, that's what the BlackBerry was for.
well,
No?
I don't even send emails through my computer anymore. I send them through here. I even
See?
I even have my
Well, yeah,
like my
'cause it's
signature,
yeah.
my company signature. I have it on my phone already. It's like
Oh, my
I replaced it with the send from an
Well,
iPhone.
that's the purpose of a smartphone.
Yeah,
That was the intent.
but then it also
But then, you
causes
got,
this.
but then you got Snapchat, TikTok.
How many are you
Instagram.
guys like on what? I'm only like
Our podcast?
no, like
Or individually?
Just the podcast.
No, individual. Oh, yeah, you're just in the podcast. Me, Instagram, Facebook, very rare now.
yeah.
I have TikTok only for the funny videos, but I don't even go on it. It's when my kids. It's when my kids are like, Dad, can I go? And I'm like, all right, here. I have Snap, but I don't even use it. I don't know how to use Twitter, and I have it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think I have a Twitter somewhere out there. It was like for sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm mostly on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is probably the
and
number
Twitter
one, yeah.
for news, like they have the
How
latest
do you use
update.
Twitter?
How do I use it?
I mean, how do you use
The
like
updates.
like,
It's giving you up to the second
but there's
updates.
people that like tweet,
Tweet.
Yeah.
and it's like, pero cómo hace? Like, I don't get the like. I don't know. Maybe because
It's
I'm not
just
into it.
it's just like more ¿qué será como
It's like a Facebook post. Remember how it used to be? Where it used to just give you like,
yeah. What are you
Oh,
thinking?
yeah.
And like no, and that's just like, and it works for news because you follow like, no sé, BBC News and blah, 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 and Carmen,
Gotcha.
and then like you'll get like the updates. Y lo que me gusta a mí es que cuando hay como, breaking news, or we had like the City Hall, like Kevin De Leon, like, or the racist remarks or whatever, como que sigues a un montón de periodistas, un montón de gente, and you're seeing like, what are people thinking? What are the news outlets bringing out? Like,
Oh,
so
okay.
como que estás siguiendo como minuto a minuto.
Gotcha.
I try to like, tengo ratos donde como que me meto muchísimo, de repente como que I'm like, again, I isolate de repente, but yeah, I have to use it for
No,
work
I mean, like I
purposes.
said, it's understandable in your field.
Yeah.
So.
we all have to use it at this point. Everybody think about it. Everybody uses it.
Maybe if we can just control it, no?
Yeah.
Control our usage.
Yeah.
Como que, yeah.
Doesn't China have something like that where they limit certain things?
Yeah.
I think.
But that's a whole political issue. But yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like this.
He wants to go there.
No, I think they do just. I think they don't allow. No, Korea. They
No,
don't.
I think it's on TikTok. I think I had read something on
I
TikTok.
don't think they have TikTok. Yeah.
No, they're the creators of TikTok.
But they don't let their people use
The
it.
content that they give or something like that is it's only like engineering
it's-
stuff and educational things, not dances.
Not
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah, gotcha. No, I didn't know that.
Because you go on a loop, ¿verdad? Es como que, yeah, I have TikTok. I rarely use it. De repente sí, pero it's like I could be there for like an hour and a half and I'm just like scrolling. Y de repente, our attention span is like so short now.
Yeah. And it's also también an instant gratification. Because you got people that are like Dogface. I remember Dogface?
Yeah.
That with
Here you go.
yeah. So it's like people want to blow up. It's like, fuck it, let me do a TikTok.
Yeah.
Let me do a TikTok. Y ahí van y hacen pendejadas. And yeah, pendejadas sell. just like violent cells, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to hear about the little teddy bear little teddy bear.
What? What?
The little bear you say, the little cub bear you I said teddy bear.
Yeah.
Anyways, they named them after Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, that's what teddy bears are named after.
What?
You guys didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Teddy Roosevelt went on an expedition back, I think, before he became president. And the story is that he was going to shoot a cub and he saved him. He decided to spare him. And when he came back, I was like, oh my God, Theodore Roosevelt saved his little cub. Teddy bears. Toma. And that's how teddy bears came out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, you should make a TikTok with all these little facts.
And if you don't know,
Yeah, now you know.
Hold on. What is it? The more you know. That's
little
their
star
logo.
thing
Yeah,
you
that's
do?
their
Or you know.
Yeah.
Oh, NBC?
Yeah, CNBC and Channel 52 are partnered.
Yeah.
And that's one thing they do. They're like, the more you know.
with a little star.
Ding, 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 ding. Hey, maybe I'll get featured. I don't know. So yeah, teddy bears come from Teddy Roosevelt.
Wow.
So I had read something that when you were in Arizona, in Yuma, you actually were one of the first people that pushed to start a Spanish network.
Well, it was more like there was actually like a. Okay, so I have to give the backstory. Okay, pero don't let me forget about that question. But when I came back from Mexico, I came back because my grandma was diagnosed with cancer, and my whole family was out there pretty much como que para superarse. No, that was like my parents' thing. My parents were in Arizona. They were supporting us, and we were living in Mexico with my grandparents. But by the time my brothers finished dentistry, I was still in school. But then my grandma got sick, so I had to like quit on everything and just head back to the U.S. with everybody. Entonces, that was really, pues it was really hard on me porque ya había crecido toda mi vida en Mexico, like 11 years. I think I was like 22, 23. And oh my gosh, you guys know that in Mexico you grow up different, no? But by the time I was like 22, 23, in Estados Unidos, like you have a credit card, you have credit, you have a car, you even have a house, you have a career. And I had
Like
nothing.
22?
I don't know any 22.
I was going to say, you're probably in debt at 22 because you spent
Yes. Pero you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
everybody has a driver. I didn't have anything. Everybody had like a driver's license. Like, they had like something. Y para mí fue como de, holy shit, I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
And it was very depressing porque, chécate, like, we were living in Morelia, Michoacan, which is like the capital of the state. And then going back to Yuma, Arizona, which is like a small ass town.
Yeah.
And I love Yuma. Shout out to Yuma, but
It's a military town too, right?
it's a military town. And it's a border town. Pero está bien chiquito. And it's the lettuce capital of the world.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Ahí se corta mucha lechuga. Anyway, so I came back to Yuma and I went into this deep depression como que because I had to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
Y no tenía nada, absolutamente nada. Y mis papás, mi mamá siempre como que her thing was like, I don't know this system in the U.S., so that's why I took you to Mexico, because allá sí les puedo ayudar. So once we came back, mis hermanos ya tenían su carrera de odontología, they're dentists. But I didn't, and my mom was like, hija, like, I don't know how to help you. You figure it out. And I was like, okay. So I remember like going to volunteer at the hospital. I applied to work in La Lechuga. Like, I was like, what do I do? Like, everybody has money. Everybody has a credit. So I started doing all the things. I remember, oh my goodness. The whole like driver's license manual, like el examen, lo reprobé como 3 veces porque yo terca, porque aunque estaba como el examen en español también, I was like, I'm going to do it in English because like, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Like, what the
I
heck?
want the full American experience.
Yes. Y lo seguía reprobando hasta que una vez like, por obra del Espíritu Santo pasé, right?
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, like I have to adapt to the system now. I fui al Arizona Western College and I was like, hey, can you transfer any of my credits? And they were like, no, you have to start from scratch. Wow. I remember like crying with my counselor porque fue como un tipo de, oh my gosh, like I had a bunch of classes. A mí no, como que nunca lo que es como la escuela nunca se me ha dado, es más como lo creativo. Entonces, like, I had good grades or whatever, but it was because I had, like, studied at night.
Put the work in.
Yeah. Entonces, de repente que me dijeran, nada de lo que hiciste en México vale, was like, okay. And now, like, going to college and taking, like, English 101 and Math 1, fudge. It was, like, the worst thing ever. Pero dije, pues, vamos a darle, right? So, empecé en el colegio. I was applying to a bunch of, like, internships, and nada se me daba porque, pues, it was this kid from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So, one day, I was, like, sitting my living room, like watching local news, which is something that randomly happens, right? Porque siempre estaba haciendo otra cosa. And I watched that, like, el canal local de noticias, they had like a 5-minute Telemundo segment, and they had a bunch of grammatical errors. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, they need help. Aparte, como que yo regresé de México como super proud of like being Mexican. Like, you got to respect our accents, you know?
Yeah.
So, that, you know, I was like, I'm gonna email the news director or someone. So I did. I emailed the news director and I was like, hi, like, y yo ni sabía, like, yo jamás en la mente tenía como que voy a trabajar en noticias o en televisión. It was just like, I need to do something. I need to fix this.
Yeah.
They need help. So I reached out. Hi, I'm Carmen Marquez. Yo ni sabía cómo escribir un correo acá. And I was like, en algún momento siempre decía como de, I just came from Mexico. And I saw that you have like a 5-minute segment. Do you need some help? I'm really good in Spanish. And he was like, oh, do you need this for a credit? Me contestó bien rápido. And I was like, me contestó. And I was like, no, like, I just want to do something. I literally told him I just want to do something. I wanted to learn. I wanted to, like, know the system, whatever. So me llamó una entrevista. His name is Ernesto Romero. He's currently the news director there. And we're really good friends now. Pero me acuerdo que he was like, okay, vente a una entrevista. Fui, and we just like hit it off. And he was like, okay, like, vente, you know, vamos a entrenarte o lo que sea. So empecé a ser como traductora primero en la estación de noticias. So in this news station in Yuma, they had like Fox News, NBC, ABC. Como que Yuma is really small, so they had like all the stations in one room. And then they were thinking about starting like a Telemundo, right? But they didn't have, you know, talent in Espanol. So a lot of what like these like journalism kids do is they come from like Columbia universities like all across the country, and they want to start in local markets. And like this local market happens to be like my hometown, right? So I was like, you know, translating for and working alongside a bunch of, some of them are cool kids, pero como que, you know, they could be very arrogant. Son noticias al final del día. And I remember they would call me like, oh, she's the intern. She's the Mexican intern. Como que eran bien así, como bien canijos. Pero como en mi mente, I was just a little sponge. I was learning to translate. I was learning to use like the news system. De repente ya, they trusted me with the cameras, and they were like, can you go get us an interview? Can you go interview? And then, you know, the Fernanda Robles, who was the lady who did the 5-minute segment, she lived in El Centro, and she had to drive to Yuma. That was like an hour drive or whatever. Y un día como que she got sick, y yo ya tenía como meses ahí, tenía como 3 meses que estaba nada más de like learning. And it was helping me because I was like doing so much and doing voiceovers and everything. And y un día se enfermó, and the news director was like, hey, Carmen, like, can you help us out? Like, anchor the segment? And I was like, really? He may say, yeah. He's like, let's just go get you fixed at the hair salon. And I was like, okay. And by this time, I had never done my makeup. Like, I was very like Mexican kid, como a los 22, 23. You're still like so young, como que no te arreglas tanto. So I remember like seeing myself for the first time with makeup and with my hair. I was like, oh my gosh, she's different. And I was like, okay. So, and it was like not difficult for me porque 11 años viviendo en Mexico, you know how to read a prompter. You know how to speak perfect Spanish. So I anchored like this newscast or this like segment, and y les gustó. And like al mes, they were like, look, Carmen, we're thinking about starting this like newscast. Sería 5 de la tarde, 10, and we want to offer you a job like to anchor and produce, you know, for 2 years.
Crazy.
And that's pretty much how it happened. So nunca fue algo como que busqué. De hecho, me da mucha pena. Me da mucha pena todavía estar en la televisión. I'm kind of shy. But that's how it evolved. And I remember cuando me ofreció Ernesto el trabajo, I was like, hold up, like I still need to finish school. And he was like, think about it, but this is a good opportunity. Like my first job, yo.
Yeah.
And I told my parents, and they were like, Carmen on TV, what? Como jamás se les hubiera ocurrido. And they were obviously super proud, pero, you know, we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And this was an amazing opportunity. I took the job, and, you know, I was doing the job while I was going full-time to Arizona Western College to school. So fue como mucho, pero it was like an immersive 101 to the U.S., right? Like, aparte como Shark Tank, porque news is just like, es algo tan competitivo, right? You have people staring down at you because you're like the Mexican who's trying to make it, who got this opportunity, but I didn't have the degree yet, while like all these kids were paying like $70,000 in debt and, to be there or whatever, ¿sabes? Pero es como que sometimes, opportunities happen and you have to like, para mí fue como un buen de hustle, like, apliqué para trabajar en la lechuga and like, fui como por unos días, and then I was like, hell no, this is not my thing. And props to everybody who works in the fields, because I know it's like so difficult to be there like a las 3 de la mañana para empezar a cortar la lechuga y todo ese rollo. Pero, so I was in Yuma, and what was your question?
Oh, that you kind of started.
Yes. So empezamos ese noticiero así. Y fui como el primer newscast, a pesar de que Yuma es like 80% Latino, I think.
Yeah.
Like, excepto por la base militar. And it was strange. Like, it was the first time that Yuma had news in Spanish, when everybody speaks Spanish. But it was nice. It was nice to get to know the community. Al poquito tiempo, I think it was 2016 cuando entró Trump, cuando ganó Trump las elecciones. And I remember, like, by that time, I knew the community, which is Yuma, San Luis, Somerton, and Calexico, and this whole region como de la frontera, es una comunidad como muy, pues obviamente por la temperatura, como muy, very enclosed, because it's freaking hot, so everybody's in their homes. But, they went out. But when Trump won the election, it was like they were all staying in their homes. It was bad. Entonces me acuerdo que para mí siempre ha sido como de, how can I help the community? So by that time, I was like, okay, I got the producing down, I got the anchoring down, like, let's do something with the community because they need help. Entonces I started creating like immigration forums, como yo ni conocía a nadie, but I was like, okay, let's bring this lawyer, like some activists, like a radio station, let's gather in a church. And como en iglesias católicas, I was like, hey, like, let us borrow like your place and let's make forums. Entonces empezaba a llegar la comunidad and like, hey, nos van a deportar si hacemos esto, can we go out? They were so scared of this new administration. And y para mí eso ha sido como, what I'm doing right now is amazing, pero sé que como que la finalidad siempre es como de, how can we help our community? Because I'm part of that community who just comes in here and like, la neta, yo no tenía ni la menor idea de qué hacer. And you're so lost because the system is created for us to like stay how we are, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to like go up, you have to really ask around. You have to find and connect with the right people. So I want to become someone who gives our community the resources to succeed. No?
Gotcha.
And to como me encantaría como abrirle los ojos a tantas realidades como lo que está el sex trafficking, but yeah, I mean, all this to say I love my community.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing experience. I mean, you came in here wanting to learn, like you said, a sponge. What better way to learn than to actually be covering everything going on? You know what I mean? You're learning politics, you're learning about the community, you're learning about weather, traffic accidents, like economy. So
and the cool thing, bro, is that she now has the platform. It's just like you told me earlier. We got the platform, right? And I said, oh shit, didn't think of that.
Yeah.
She has the platform to do the things that she wants to do. Because I don't think, based on what you said, I didn't catch that you ever thought of being a newscaster or working on TV.
No.
And then it's like, le nació, and she was good at it. And that's.
But this is a lesson, everybody. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot. She wrote an email. She just wrote an email and said, let me help you.
That's true.
And what happened?
Yeah.
You don't. If you don't shoot your shot, you're not gonna know if you would have gotten anything or not.
Y también como que so many times, like maybe deep in my heart, at some point, I was like, I'd like to be on TV, right? Pero because we don't see people like us in these places, como we don't see that much representation, como que I'm not like the freaking like Bárbara Bermudo, or like I'm not like a Colombian Miss Universe that's gonna, porque esas eran las personas que nos ponían en la televisión antes, ¿no? Como que, wow, como tengo que verme así, actuar así, tener estos títulos para estar en la televisión. And like, no, bro, you just have to know your community.
I was gonna say Pati Chapoy because I always make fun of her because he has that voice. Hola amigos, estamos But that's in Mexico, right?
That's in Mexico. Y en México también, o sea, en México mucha gente que está en la televisión es gente como que viene de abolengo, que viene de dinero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y si, Yeah, para que México se me hubiera dado esta oportunidad hubiera estado muy difícil.
Yeah. Even then, we're still racist in Mexico too. So
Yeah, that's true.
with our own people.
Yeah. Oof. Talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's
We've
so
talked
ingrained
about it.
in our culture.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
crazy shit.
That's
Pero
crazy.
sí. And then, like, sí, de Yuma me fui a través de los forums que estaba haciendo. Again, I guess, like, the thing is, like, sometimes you just have to, como dijiste, shoot your shot. And also, like, where's the need? No, como que siempre pensar, like, where's the need? Like, I feel like we're sometimes, like, God, the universe, like, nos pone como herramientas to serve a purpose, right? And, like, sometimes you just, para ti, you know, maybe there's a topic that you're passionate about, para ti es otra, para mí es otra, and you gotta be like, okay, so what's the need and how can I serve? No? Entonces, para mí fueron los forums, and then through the forums, I had like Congressman Raúl Grijalva who was coming to the forums, and like people were getting helped, and it's just so cool to see like people getting, you know, answers and figuring things out. Y de ahí Radio Campesina was like part of the all the radio, the media that I invited. And I thought Radio Campesina was like from Yuma, but no, it turns out they're like national, like radio, right?
Yeah.
They're like in Washington, Nevada, California, Arizona. And they were like, hey, you know, like we know what you're doing is, would you like to like work for us? We have a radio show. And I was like, really? Like, and they were like, yeah, we're national. And I was like, okay. So there goes little Carmen, like shooting her shot, and then becoming like la única de mi familia que se fue lejos, right? Lejos, 2 hours away from Yuma, to Phoenix. And mi mamá me acuerdo que se enojó mucho conmigo. ¿Cómo siendo como la hija, la que tienes que estar en la casa, cómo te vas a ir? And I was just like, I'm sorry. They called me to offer me the job on a Monday. El siguiente lunes estaba ya en Phoenix trabajando. Oh, wow. I'm very like, let's go.
If it's going to happen, might as well.
Yeah. Y empecé a trabajar para la Radio Campesina, which is, it comes from the Cesar Chavez Foundation. And I had and they serve our immigrant communities. Y trabajaba en un show que se llamaba Punto de Vista, de lunes a viernes, 10:30 de la mañana, and we did like immigration, health, politics, trending topics, news. It was like an amazing experience. Again, Carmen arrojándose a lo desconocido, like for reals, like how did I think I was going to be able to do it? No sé, pero ahí me pusieron con los boards, a mover los keys and producing and like hosting and everything. And I guess like a veces como que tenemos miedos, but you just gotta do it sometimes.
Put yourself out there and do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, me acuerdo mi jefa entraba a la cabina, María Barquín, which I love her, by the way. Shout out, María. Entraba a la cabina como con un sign like, what are you doing? Y yo así como, sorry, de repente como, porque teníamos invitados, ¿no? En el show, y era como de, no sé, un show de DACA, un show de, no sé, like, salud, cómo bajar de peso para el año nuevo, lo que sea. And we had the invitados here, and I had to be talking to them, but also like lanzando a comerciales and like moving the controls and taking the calls. It was a lot. Entonces
so you were actually doing all of that, and oh damn.
Yeah, and I had a co-host, Fernando, who was, also like helping with the conversation siempre. Pero era un buen y me lanzaron así como que de la nada y llegaba María como de, stop, we just gotta end this show. Like, y yo así como de verdad, that was like nerve-wracking, me acuerdo. Pero otra cosa que me gustó es que a través de Radio Campesina me mandaban a cubrir noticias nacionales. Me mandaban a Washington, a Texas, a cubrir todo esto de que tenía que ver con nuestra gente, ¿no? And the coolest thing was like being on the show, and we were picking up calls, right? De Fresno, de Bakersfield, and it'd be like, sí, pues Carmen, si me caso con usted, me arreglo los papeles.
Damn, you proposed like that, huh?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And like, it was...
Hey, Carmen, I'm your little puppet.
It's like, I got a question about the whole immigration.
Sí.
I got a solution.
Yeah, but that was the way to like connect with the community, and I love our community. Y ahora que estoy acá en Los Ángeles, I'm just like, yo la verdad no conocí a Los Ángeles hasta, tengo 3 años que vivo acá, y and it feels like Mexico.
Does it?
Like, it feels like, I mean, if you compare it to Yuma and Phoenix, yes.
Of course. Of course.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, culture shock, culture shock, culture shock.
Yeah.
You didn't feel that at any time? Like going from Mexico to Yuma.
Yeah.
And then Yuma to Phoenix. It's obviously a bigger city. And then coming here to Los Angeles, like.
I think she would have adapted more if she would have gone straight to Los Angeles.
Creo que sí.
Yeah.
Porque hubiera estado like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Pero yendo a Yuma.
The small
again,
town.
Yeah, fool, it's like.
Small communities, yeah.
No way. It's like me going to Redlands. Like when I moved to Redlands, I was like, where the heck are the city?
I still get that when I travel to the Midwest for work. It's like I see these little towns. I'm like, what?
And they're hella conservative.
Yeah.
And I'm very like in the middle. Or I can't talk about this, but yeah.
Exclusive, right?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. No, pero sí como eso también, like the way they think in small towns. I remember getting to Yuma and being like, todos ya con familia. Yo tenía 22, and now everybody was thinking about like their families and their next babies and like their next husband or their next, like quiero casarme para tener casa or stuff like that. And I was just like, I just want to have a degree here.
Yeah.
Like,
I just want a credit card.
validate me?
I just want a credit card in a car.
The credit card comes with the husband. No, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, it's totally different. And yeah, LA. I mean, I grew up here. He grew up here, so it's like hay mucho mexicano, not just mexicano. Hay mucho latino now.
Sí.
And it's like you have a little bit of everything everywhere, and it's cool.
It's just an influx of different cultures. Like,
Yeah.
fused.
Oh, and I love it.
I love it too.
Sí.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time, when you moved to, I'm like, no.
Hell
No way. No way.
Sí, no, yo ya me quiero quedar aquí. I'm like, I'm sorry, LA, but I'm staying.
What does
Like,
your family say?
They support me. Like, they know that I'm like, soy como la oveja negra de la familia type of. No, they all support me. They, pero they're like, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to make a living out of, like, your stories? I'm like, yeah, one day.
And now they see you on the bus.
No, they're super proud. Mi mamá es como la fan número uno, como que de todo lo critica, pero todo lo apoya también, ¿no? Es como, mi papá también, I go to my hometown, voy a la casa y en el refri hay puras fotos mías. And I'm like, damn, mom, I have another 2 brothers, okay? I know I'm the favorite one.
Does your mom watch everything every time you go on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sí, siempre está al pendiente. Aunque como viven en Yuma y San Luis, México, como están como a 40 minutos de la frontera, and they live like in both places. So, cuando está en San Luis no me puede ver, pero están en Yuma siempre. So, yeah.
Gotcha. You know what I just came to my head right now when she said San Luis? I was like, I always wondered, San Luis, Rio Colorado. I was like, is that in the U.S. or is that in Mexico?
So there's a San Luis, Arizona.
Uh-huh.
But like literally across is San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora.
Okay.
So el San Luis Rio Colorado es Sonora y el San Luis, Arizona. So there's like.
And the only reason that came to my mind is because the Colorado River. And
Yeah.
I forget that it empties out into Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, oh, shit, it was a mind trip. Yeah. Don't worry, it's me.
Yeah. You coming with the facts today, huh? Talking about
right?
Teddy Roosevelt and now the Colorado River.
I love it.
Out,
You
bro.
have to make a TikTok, by the
For
way.
all your Mexican facts.
I don't know if I'm.
You're gonna be
blow up.
it's like Chris's, remember? Like,
I don't know if I was like, I'm camera shy, but I'm like, there's cameras in front of me right now, right?
You are
so I was
not
like, I
camera
guess.
shy.
You don't know, but I am camera shy.
See?
See, so camera shy.
We'll have you guys on TV one day.
Oh, on live TV?
Yeah, why not?
out in the field, reporting from the Cinco.
Estamos con the Sisko and Mike
I'll be
podcast.
like this.
No, ya que tengan su stand-up comedy show.
I don't know. We're gonna
Full
have
on?
a stand-up comedy show.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna open
They-
up. We're
they-
gonna open
yeah.
the open mic.
They gave us 5
But-
minutes.
You guys never know.
That's true. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to it.
It's something that's on his bucket list.
It's on my bucket
Really?
list, and I do hope that I do good. But if I don't,
You did it.
I did it. But I'm really hoping that I don't want to become a comedian. But if I do good, then I'm gonna be happy. You know, like I'm really gonna work on this material. because I love comedy. Comedy is one of my favorite genres, and like I think sometimes I'm funny and I think sometimes I'm not, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Do it, and don't only do it once. Do it like 10 times, 15 times, 20 times.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
True. But then I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to be a comedian. I don't know. It's never too late. I know what you're going to tell me.
No, not even that. I think it's for me personally. When I dive into something, I like to dive into it hard. Like I want to know that I did my best, even if I fail. Does that make sense?
That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
So if it takes more than one time, because the first time, I mean, you gotta be realistic. First time it's gonna be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
let me take out this quote but keep talking. Let me take out this quote.
So for me, that's what it is. And you know how like, the studio, you know, like we're gonna do something to do it right. And like I tell you, and like I tell some of the guys that work here, don't ever do things just to do them.
Yeah, but hold on.
If you're gonna do it, really do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give it your all.
God, I'm trying to find this quote that I really love, and I always go back to it when I feel.
We could debut on Channel 52.
There you go.
Ahí está.
And then you could do your voice.
Buenas tardes. I do have a joke, but I can't say this one out loud because there was a prank call that I used to do.
You can do the TV voice, and I'll do the radio voice, the late night people calling in like, hey, what's up, everybody?
Like it's Sisko.
Ay, ¿dónde está? I'm trying to find it because it's my favorite quote. It's by this, he used to be an NPR host, and it talks about, here it is. Okay. He said, for the first couple years, you make stuff. It's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know do interesting creative work, went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this. It is only by going through a volume of work that you will close that gap, and your work will be as good as your ambitions. He said, I took longer to figure out to do this than anyone I've ever met, and it's going to take a while. You just got to fight your way through it.
Well, you should do voiceover. Or those audio books. Because I got the earbuds. I was like,
what I'm trying to say is you got to just keep at it. Como si te gusta, and you find like, would you wake up at 5 a.m. to do a comedy show?
If I want, yeah.
Right? It's like, what's that one thing that you're like, me levantaría a las 5 de la mañana para hacerlo?
Passion.
Right?
One of my passions, photography.
Okay.
I used to get up, I would check out the sunrise, and I'm like, oh shit, at 5:15 it's gonna be up. 4 o'clock, I'm on the way because I want to make sure my camera's ready. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean.
Sabes,
so,
como I want to get so good at storytelling, and I know I'm gonna get there. Like, sabes, como there's no doubt I'm gonna get there. Pero ahorita como que siento que for the first couple years, and I go back to this quote, it's como que it's gonna hurt because you're like, oh, no salió como quería, or like el público no reaccionó como quería. And that's probably going to happen a couple times when you're doing stand-up, pero tienes que seguir.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing is that we got to be our biggest critics, but we also got to be our biggest fans.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to keep it real. You know, what you're doing and what you're giving, and you have to criticize yourself. You have to. Yeah. But at the same time, you can't let that bring you down. You got to be your biggest fan, too.
Yeah.
True.
I got to work on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, but like you're talking about right now, someday I'll get there. But even if when you get there, we can't stop because there's always something you can work on to improve.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's always improvement in our lives. We can always never stop learning.
Yep.
Just to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And we're dropping like lots of words of
Words
wisdom.
of wisdom. We're not even there. We're not even there.
We're going deep.
This turned into a motivational podcast now.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's good.
You want to move on to the No Manches?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Okay.
You gonna start? Do you want to start off?
Okay, I'll start it. Man, you talking earlier about the whole border thing. I really want to go there. So No Manches about, like the trafficking and all that, but I'm not going to go there because it's just sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But have you guys heard about the whole artificial intelligence thing going on right now? That whole
Manches.
Chat GPT?
No.
No.
What
What is that?
So it's a new thing. It's like a website. So it's an artificial intelligence that's continuously learning, right? And you guys remember it's like a Google, I guess, on steroids that is learning, and you type in or ask it a question, and it'll break it down for you. It can even code.
Damn, that's scary.
It is, right? To me, it's like, what the hell? Like, Why would we even do that? Like, something that's learning, what are you learning from? Because it learns from internet, encyclopedia, so it just has a...
Here's my thing about that, right? Everybody's scared about AI taking over in the future, right? I think...
No, I'm not scared of it taking over.
I'm not saying you per se. I'm saying there's stories and movies about artificial intelligence taking over the humankind or human world, right? But my question is, it's like you said, this thing is constantly learning. It's constantly adapting to shit. And it's probably doing it at way faster rates than we could possibly ever do it in our lifetime.
It's already replacing jobs, too.
Okay. So, can it replicate emotions? That's the question. Because I think the part that a robot can do something without emotion, it's gonna do its job. Like the Terminator, right? And I'm only bringing out the Terminator because I love movies. Dun, dun. But the Terminator was sent for a purpose, right? Whether there was emotion, nothing else affected the Terminator but his mission, right? But if AI learned emotion, can that change how AI interacts?
That's scary to think about.
That's what I'm saying, because...
But even then, if you really think about it, some emotions are learned.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Some emotions are learned.
This became a No Manches to another...
Think about it, like, there's spectrums on autism levels. Like when people think about autism, they think about one thing, right? But it's not like that at all. So there's different spectrums. One spectrum is, for example, like Elon Musk. He has Asperger's, right?
Has
so
what?
Asperger's.
Okay. Hold up. Burgers. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who named it, right? It was Teddy Roosevelt. I don't know, some guys, burgers, and I don't know,
Okay.
But
you have to find the root of that word.
Root of that word.
Now, the next podcast.
That's probably going to be like in the dark web, but...
Yeah. So
Elon
Musk, yeah.
But so his his thing is he doesn't know how to read a room or how to read emotions. That's what his spectrum is. That's what he has.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why when people say he has no empathy, he doesn't know how because of that autism that has.
Okay.
So if you don't know emotions, sometimes you learn them, right? You learn to be happy, you learn to be sad. What's happiness? What's sadness?
So you're saying AI could possibly learn that?
Yeah, but it's not the same, obviously.
No.
But it can.
I feel like AI is going to be able to learn like the common behaviors, but not people with like bipolar.
Yeah,
or
correct.
Asperger's or
correct.
You know.
Okay, so what's Asperger's? I gotta check.
Parenthood, fool! You gotta watch that show, Parenthood.
No, I haven't watched it.
You gotta watch Parenthood. It's a good show.
So I guess my question is more of like, you know how they always say that we only tap into a certain percentage of our brain?
Yeah.
And our potential and the way, like, if we really tapped into our brain, and I'm just going off of what people say, some people are not gonna believe this shit.
It's not true.
You don't think that we would be able to like control shit or maybe not control shit, but like telepathically, like
No.
Oh my
you don't think
gosh.
that? Because they say that how do you know if you only tapped into a certain percentage of your brain?
That's not true, but that's a lie. That's not. That's
a lie to who?
That's been debunked. That we only use 10% of our brain. That's been debunked.
Has?
Every
Okay.
part of our brain has a special part of it. Now, if we grow it, that's why some people are smarter. Some people are more artistic. You're just growing those certain parts or using certain parts of your brain.
Gotcha. Okay.
So but that's been debunked. But you try to go off into like superheroes or super villains.
No. I was just thinking like
and they got no emotion, so they're bad guys.
This is ¿cómo se llama the Mexican guy who did like extraterrestres?
Oh, gotcha. The one that was like in Mexico City, right?
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't remember his name, but he's like the father of UFO stuff in Mexico.
What's his name?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Mexico's
never mind.
a lot
Changing
of
top. Let's go back to this.
That's a crazy No Manches fool. My No Manches is gonna be something simpler. It's not gonna go into UFOs and shit. And
No te la seguí mucho.
You wanted to.
Bro, imagine our the viewers that get high and they're hearing this talk about this shit. They're probably gonna be like,
The Matrix is real. You're in the Matrix.
Their minds is
ChatGPT is taking over. It's
like,
coding.
what the fuck? They're probably hiding somewhere, dog.
Tinfoil.
Anyways, my No Manches, imitation food.
What do you mean imitation food? Like imitation crab?
Imitation crab.
Oh God.
Imitation cheese. That's disgusting.
What's imitation cheese?
Like tofu?
Fake cheese.
Like vegan?
No. Like
Tofu's? I was about to get offended. Tofu's,
no. Tofu's okay.
Tofu's not imitation.
No. You know how my dad likes to do the quesadillas?
Yeah.
and he gets
They're like
Monterey Jack.
mulitas, I guess.
Like mulitas, yeah. My dad was the inventor of those, by the way. He's been doing them since we were.
I thought it was my dad.
Man,
maybe I don't know.
his salsa.
Well, he's from Michoacan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's from Michoacan.
His
So maybe it's a
salsa.
Michoacan thing.
His salsa.
My dad's?
Your dad's.
Yeah,
just-
he
my
gets down cooking. So my dad, they get Monterey Jack, and then they shred it or they cut him in little blocks.
Se le está haciendo agua a la boca
Yeah,
mientras
it
hablas.
is.
Now it's becoming a cooking segment.
I know, right?
Yes.
Podcast.
Post my shit later. The thing that.
Oh, we don't have it anymore.
Damn. Anyways, because it said, I guess it was going through like things, and it said,
You're a 10.
but you're always hungry or something?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I
a
was
10.
like, what a dick. Like, and that was AI, by the way. Fucking AI. Anyways, so my dad makes a quesadillas with Monterey Jack cheese. And una vez, we sent my brother. I was like, hey, fool, go get some cheese. He's like, what kind of cheese? Monterey Jack, fool, go get a big ass bag because we're gonna make the familia was there and we're gonna make quesadillas. This one comes back with imitation cheese.
I don't even know what that is. What is it though? Like,
I don't know. It tastes like plastic, fool. How do we know? We don't even
Like
know.
you buy this like fake cheese, like
They
it's
have it at the stores.
but it says imitation.
Imitation. Yeah, it doesn't melt. It doesn't melt. It's cheese, but it's not made from milk or.
Is it with cashews?
I don't fucking know. All I know is that this fool brings the bag. We don't even look at it. Hold on, we don't even see it. We don't even see this as imitation. My mom opens the bag because she don't read English. She starts putting
didn't know
like
this.
fucking quesadillas and shit.
It's not melting. The
Fool, it
tortillas
doesn't
are
melt.
burned.
We go to taste the damn quesadilla and we're like, what the fuck is this, dog? It tastes like plastic. And my brother's like, fool, I got it, dog. You know, my brother. I'm sorry, I don't mean to imitate you, dog, but because you know he's kind of like gangsterish. So he's like, fool, I fucking got it, dog. I was like, fool, let me see the bag. And when I checked the bag and it says imitation, I'm like, Dick, you fucking brought imitation. He was like, it was $7.99, fool. He bought it. It was $7.99 instead of buying the Monterey Jack cheese. That would have been like $15-$20, you know.
Hey.
But that's just nasty. So
You
that's
could have bought a docena of eggs now. It was $7.99.
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
I know, like, I tried to go vegan like 2 years ago. Y había, o sea, hay un montón de like imitation cheese.
Sí,
right?
pero este lo compró in the Mexican market and it was a cheapy brand. So I think it goes by
I'm
brand.
concerned about this.
I know.
Yeah.
Porque
Yeah.
¿qué ingredientes tendrá? Like, I'm gonna go for
If it doesn't melt,
Hey, there
that's
you go. That's an assignment right
That's an
there.
assignment.
Investigative, going behind the scenes,
queso.
undercover.
My journalist came out with that. I'm like, I'm gonna go see that.
You know,
I can connect you into a company that makes cheese that you can go in there
I
undercover.
said.
la gente se está tapando aquí en el condado de Los Ángeles. ¿Por qué se tapa? Por el queso.
The quesadilla, look, it's not melted. Oh, anyway.
Damn,
There's
okay.
my no manches.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of cheese, people stop hating on goat cheese or feta cheese, please.
Feta cheese is good.
It's good, and yeah, I just wanted to get that.
I
out.
just had
Oh
blue
my God.
cheese for the
I
first
don't
time.
like blue cheese.
Blue
I
cheese?
didn't like blue
I
cheese.
don't like blue cheese.
I don't like blue cheese.
I said the same thing, but you gotta try
Es
the
el que
blue
le ponen
cheese.
como like, como en las ensaladas, right? Oh,
Yeah,
I hate it.
no, I hate it.
But, okay,
it's overpowering. It
You gotta
overpowers.
try it, dog.
It overpowers
Trust me, I
everything.
used to say the same thing, but I think it was because of the dressing. I don't like blue cheese dressing. And then I had blue cheese last week, and it tastes like
it
feta.
overpowers.
It tastes like feta.
Feta and goat cheese with some arugula.
Guys, next on the cooking channel.
See? Oh, you guys should make like a little cooking show.
We're gonna have all types of shows.
Oh my goodness. Do you guys like to cook?
I like to cook, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
One of my favorite things is steak.
Okay.
I like to
Steak is overrated, dude.
yes, different types of making it.
Some tri-tip, I think I'm
just
over.
tried to the other
I
day.
think I'm over steak.
You think so?
I think so.
We
think
still
I'm-
haven't done the tomahawk we're gonna do.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna
know.
cook a tomahawk.
Guys,
Well,
I'm very, very como raza, so it wasn't until like a year ago that I discovered like the medium rare and all the ways of like steak.
Steak.
Uh-huh.
It's yeah,
It's
I'm
life-changing?
just like that.
You're not a
I'm not. I'm like pues cocido. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah.
caldo de res.
Seca carne. It's like us, like carne seca. Just dry it outside.
Yeah, no. You have to be medium is that's the lowest you'll go. I'll go, but it has to be like a little bit reddish.
That's
Okay.
medium. Well, yeah.
Yeah, medium. Yeah,
So
with a
people-
little bit of blood. Medium.
¿Cuántos
rare-ish.
niveles hay? Is it like a
It's medium rare. No, there's rare.
They're rare.
Medium rare.
Medium.
Medium well.
Medium well.
Well. And then burned.
And then don't even eat that shit.
Don't
Just
even
throw it
eat it.
away.
Just break your
If you
teeth.
fully cook it, you're doing it wrong.
Call Carmen's brother at the dentist.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Carmen, you're no manches.
My no manches. Okay, so This is actually something that my friend Chris Cabezas told me, which is like how...
Shout out to Chris, by the way.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout
I
out,
love
Chris.
you. Yo le digo mi bebé de luz. I don't know if I could... Yeah. Anyway. Pero como con los cirujanos plásticos, I know that a lot of like women and like buchonas especially, like they're going to like the cirujanos and they're like telling them like, I want my face to look like this filter. No manches. Like, and... O sea, como que... No sé, se me hace como súper interesante. I actually want to do a story on that. Because, like, I mean, I know that buchonas had, like, this type. But now they're messing with their faces to look like these filters.
Yeah.
So, that's my no manches. I don't know how to expand on that. What do you think?
On a filter? Like, what do you mean? Like how
a filter.
like it glows it up? Or like...
Como pómulos más grandes. And, like, como features very, like...
Animated?
Very, a little bit animated. ¿Sí has visto como esos filtros que... You know, yo uso mucho como un filtrito que como que me, like, I don't know, like, it kind of like, it blurs down my imperfections or whatever. Pero hay unos que como que they full on, like, te hacen el ojo, la ceja, la nariz.
Pero que ya ni se ve la cara. It's like, like
Al rato van a poner
Yeah.
caricaturas.
So you want to look like
kind
that.
of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was telling them last time that have you seen those reels or tutorials like the people that completely transform?
Yeah.
They're like
Catfish.
70, 75 years old.
Catfish.
Yeah, and then they like they do like the whole makeup thing and they look like they're like 50.
Catfish.
Or they're
That's what I
men.
call
I
it.
saw one that was a guy. He started shaving. He did his makeup and he looked like a girl at the end. I was like,
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
To me at that point, and this is, again, I was going to say my opinion, but then they're going to attack
yeah,
me.
this is your life experience.
This is my life
when you do your
experience.
makeup.
When I do my makeup,
Okay.
I look like this. This is me. But when I put makeup on or exaggeratedly and I don't freaking look like me anymore, that's not me. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
That's
whole
not me.
debate. Some people, they like to feel good. I mean, we like to feel good by doing something.
If I was in a dating profile, right, and I put my makeup on, todo chingón, ¿verdad? And I'm like,
Yeah.
me miro bien buenote, ¿verdad? And then I hit you up, and you're like, damn, this vato está bien buenote, right? And then I show up like this, you're going to be like, catfish.
Oh,
¿Sí o no?
man.
Because you're going to expect a vato from the picture, right?
Yeah.
But that's not me.
But like people should be really smart nowadays and be like, can we FaceTime before? By the way, I'm not on any like dating app because of that. I'm like, no solo catfishing, but I feel like people can be weird out there. Like you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
That's true.
What's a good dating app?
I heard of one this weekend. Somebody told me,
you
a
laughing?
friend of
It's
mine,
funny,
because
huh?
it's fucking funny. Se llama Chispa.
Oh my god!
Chispa.
It's like
Para gente
spark
latina.
or what? Like,
I don't
Oh,
know.
you just did the commercial. Para gente
Chispa,
latina.
para gente latina. It is
Okay.
for
sponsors.
Hey, fuck it, Chispa. We'll get Chispa. Hey, shout out to the homie Pierre. He said Chispa. And so, anyways, that's the app. It's a real dating app. I'm not on dating apps.
We could go deep into that conversation too because
What's
that's
that?
just us being stereotypical as people as well.
What?
That we have pushed. Maybe I don't want to say just men, but we've pushed looking beautiful or having like this thing that you need to do for women to feel like they need to do that in order to get the
So
attention.
you think that they're doing it for men? 'Cause a
No,
lot
not
of-
necessarily.
If you ask
Not
women,
necessarily.
they're going to say they're doing it
But
for
I'm saying as a
themselves.
society, men and women too, like
Yeah.
it's become this thing where, like for example, you need to feel good. Even as men, we need to feel good. We want to look good. We want to do this. We want to do that.
But okay, in my opinion, a lot of companies that nowadays are being started by women. A lot of makeup companies. So I think it's themselves pushing on themselves. At the end of the day, it's a business. But if you look online, like we talked about this in the past about influencers. There's photographers. There's the
just the market,
bodybuilders.
though.
The
Yeah, it's just
bodybuilders, right? And then there's the makeup area where it's like, how many companies or makeup tutorial people is there in the world? You know what I'm saying, fool? So you're right. It is in a sense being pushed onto
Our society by everybody.
yeah, exactly, onto everybody. But again, I think
We shouldn't be saying anything because Carmen said that we need to get a makeup artist in here.
You guys need a makeup artist
Touch
here.
us up.
No,
well,
no,
it's
no.
on the purpose. But come on, you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
I
Like,
know,
when,
I know.
you, when you change how you really
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
that's a catfish.
Like cuando yo entré a la televisión, I remember I would look at like other anchors and be like, oh my gosh, como que I'm like, les da pena. Like they would arrive at the station and they were like in their glasses and they'd be like, don't see me until I have my makeup. And I'd be like, low-key, I'd be kind of judgy. I'd be like, oh my God, como, porque si cambias un montón. But
Exactly.
now that I have to wear a bunch of makeup for TV, it's kind of like, como de repente, it gets to you. Como que llego a la estación. And like the people that are like in the control room y todo esto, like they know me as Carmen who's like anchoring and I look a certain way. Entonces, ¿sabes que llego? Es como que no me vean ahorita que estoy así, pero you do change a lot with makeup. And
That's why that explains celebrities, huh? Always with their hats and glasses.
porque sí, o sea, imagina, es todo un rollo, ¿no? Como que la ceja, y aparte ahorita que es el contour. What are you doing?
I don't have my makeup on.
Oh, man. No, but
But yeah.
yeah,
No,
don't go out there catfishing, guys.
Yeah, no catfish. Chispa.
Chispa.
Oh, my God.
Para la gente latina.
Looking for that spark.
Oh, man. Sí, qué rollo con el catfishing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Let's go to Words of Wisdom.
Even though we already had a whole segment, but
We had like a whole like TED Talk in here.
Yeah, we did. Words of Wisdom. So this is something that you live by, something that you use in your daily life that you like your viewers, our viewers, people that are watching to maybe use in their life so that they could,
Okay. I don't want to get like super deep because I feel like I'm gonna bore people. But okay, so
Nothing's too boredom here. Don't trip.
Trust everything. That's how I was like.
thank you guys.
I was already nodding like.
okay. No, como nowadays it's a lot of like meditation and like manifesting y todo este rollo, no? For me it's like prayer. Like I take a couple minutes a day to just like siento que that's what I grew up with, like some prayer of nunca me dijeron como you have to follow these lines. It was like it's you and your relationship with God, and like siento que muchas veces that's manifesting, that's also like meditating because you're putting it out there like this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm gonna do in the day, como que this is what, como que siento que en sí es como organizar tus pensamientos y como que pedir que pase lo mejor. So I mean, I would say like people, do some prayer, do some meditation. It's always good to take like 2 minutes a day to just like see where you're at. No?
Gotcha.
To like feel whatever you have to feel and then shoot your shot. I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Meditation, prayer. Yeah. It can be whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, you're right. It's about finding your.
It's just your safe space and your space alone.
Yeah. Although I'm be honest, I grew up in a Catholic household. Yo nunca aprendí cómo rezar. My mom taught us, and every night she would pray and stuff. But la única cosa que sí me aprendí,
Ángel de mi guarda.
El ángel de mi guardia.
Aww.
I know my mom had a little
really?
A little thing, and she had it outside the door. Y como soy bien miedoso, like we talked about earlier, soy bien miedoso. Every time I get scared, even up till now, I'm about to be 39 in April. Damn, I said my age. I still say it. So like if I get scared, if I'm at the house and I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I'm just like, ay, güey, son las 3 de la mañana. La hora del diablo.
Normal hour.
¿Quién nos metió esa idea? I don't know.
¿Quién chingados me levantó? Why is it your body wakes up at 3?
Yeah.
¿Por qué me levanto a las 3? And so, ángel de mi guarda me dice compañía, ángel de mi guarda me dice compañía, no me desapareces ni noche ni día. Ángel de la guarda me dice, the whole way, I do my thing, go back to bed, and then I come. So, do whatever makes you safe and happy internally. That's
lucky, dude. Yeah. You're lucky that's all you knew. Because if not, your mom would make you pray the Rosario.
Yeah, she doesn't know that.
Did your mom make you?
Every
¿En
night.
serio?
Yeah, and then I have to like bendecir every corner of my bed.
Hey, question. Cuando te persinas, and again, I'm just not making fun because I grew up in a Catholic household. Yo me persino. Is that it?
Oh, no.
It's
that's the legit one.
Okay. Hay uno que es este es como el normal. I grew up in a Christian household, but went to Catholic school in Mexico, so como que me sé todo el... pero el que es así es como... What is it?
I don't know the name of it, but that's like the proper way.
That's the proper way. So it's like a little mini one and then
another mini one.
Es lo que haces en misa cuando estás haciendo como I
don't know, I forgot. I learned that in catechism and in first communion and all this stuff.
Okay, because eso es lo que no entiendo. But anyways.
There's a difference. Gosh, I wish I knew.
Yeah, I don't know it, so Teddy Roosevelt. Remember that.
That's what you do know.
I like history, bro. I like history. So.
I love it.
I love history. I love world history, U.S. history. We want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out and spending some time with us. It's been really fun. We do look forward to watching you on TV, Channel 52, and other things that you have in the future. And we do, maybe one day when we become, comedians, we'll go on your show.
You guys will do it. I'm sure you will. But let's be persistent. Don't give up. And thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. We appreciate everything you're doing, the way you talk, about your passion. So it's amazing to hear.
I was gonna call out Chris. I was gonna say, "Hey, bro, thanks for letting her come by herself. She wanted you here, but
Chris, no, yeah. We'll have a conversation about that with him. No, but thank you. Tune into Telemundo 52. Follow me on Instagram. Estoy con Carmen Marquez. I post a lot of what's going on in the community, and yeah, like hit me up with all the stories.
cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
Perfect. See, we didn't even have to ask her. She already knew.
Yeah, exactly.
We usually tell the people, like, where can people find you or where your socials?
No,
You
it's
can
cool.
find
It's cool.
me at 6 and 11.
A las 6 y a las 11 por Telemundo 52. Yeah. And yeah, please share all your stories porque siento que sometimes people como que te ven así como que if I tell her she's not gonna. Yes, I will answer.
Every story matters.
Yeah.
Just don't be DMing her. Then she's not gonna answer your DMs.
This
like
is not
that.
chispa.
This is not chispa. hold on. Chispa.
She's
Para
not
gente
going to give you
latina.
papers.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Oh man, I still have that screenshot. I swear. Thank
That's
you
true.
guys.
No, thank you.
All righty, everybody.
All right, guys. See you guys later.
Have a good day.
Peace out.